One thing that we notice about the weekly Zoom calls on Mondays with Shane Steichen is that when the Colts win, they're happy calls, and he shares stuff. When they lose, he's kind of not surly, but he's not nearly as effusive, not nearly as verbose. This pretty good Zoom call with Shane Steichen talking about the trick plays that worked, talking about the punt blocks that work, talking about the consistency of effort and how these guys are kind of putting together week after week after week of doing a really good job. Here's Shane Steichen.
Just following up on the game, obviously had a chance to look at all three sides, all three phases of it last night and then this morning. Just overall good team win, found a way to win. Wasn't pretty by any means, but, big shout out to our special teams for what they did was huge. To get 2 block punts in a game is awesome to see. Credit to the guys making it happen, and huge credit to Brian Mason, our special teams coordinator, for putting them in position to go make those plays was big.
We'll start with Bob.
Yeah, Shane, that's 2 weeks in a row where a trick play really hit big. What is the process that you use to come up with trick plays? I assume it's the whole staff, but how does that work?
Well, we have inventories of trick plays that we've had for years in the bag. And then, we kind of practice some, and we try to get them oiled up. And like that play we ran, we had it up against the Patriots. We actually called the play Germany because we were in Germany. And we called it actually right after Isaiah had the big return, but we didn't get the look for it. So we had to kill it to a run play. And then we carried it over the last couple of weeks, and we got the look for it this week and hit it for a big one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
James?
Shane, what will it mean to have Grover Stewart back? I believe he got cleared to return to the team today. So what does that mean for this defense that obviously has still found a way regardless, but obviously he's a huge part of that, literally and figuratively?
Yeah, no, it's huge to get him back. His presence with the D-line, getting it back in the fold will be huge. Obviously, he'll help the run defense for us. But those guys that were in there, Taven and Eric, they've been doing a heck of a job for us too. But to have Grover back in the fold is going to be big going forward these next 5 games.
And one quick follow-up. Have you seen him kind of just ramp up or get prepared as best as he can to resume playing, football?
Yeah, no, he's obviously a pro, so he'll be in shape. He'll be ready to go this week, so we're fired up to have him back.
Kevin?
Shane, going back to Bob's question about the play to Kylan, both those shots to Alec also came right after Tennessee penalties. Is that something that you are conscious of in trying to take, shots down the field to catch a defense, maybe reel in a little bit?
Yeah, possibly. Obviously you go with the flow of the game in that moment. And sometimes you call those shots and you got to catch the right coverage. And we caught the right coverage on a few of them yesterday, and it worked out well for us.
How much, when you dial up big plays, is it about like time, sequence, position on fields, and not just, hey, we're just winging it to wing it?
Yeah, no, there is a time and a place for them. Absolutely. I don't want to get into the specifics of when that happens. But yeah, there is a time and a place for sure.
Joel?
Shane, it felt like the handoff and then the flip back on that flea flicker went pretty quick. Is that like a key coaching point to get all that done fast? Like, I feel like I've seen other flea flickers that are a lot slower than that.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail that goes into those trick plays, the landmarks, the footwork from, the pitch to Zach, his landmark on his path where he gets it, the pitch to Isaiah, his timing of it, Pitt on the edge, protecting, whirling back with Q on that play, protecting the backside if there's any leakage, and then Gardner's landmark where to set up. Obviously, Granson, his timing of it, the count of when to go out and release. There's a lot that goes into those plays. And obviously, you don't just go out and practice them one time and then throw them out in the game. You practice them and make sure they're ready to go come game time.
Chap?
You said the one you didn't use against the Patriots was called Germany. What was this one called? Just curious.
No, we kept it Germany. It was the same
okay.
play. We had it killed with the run if we didn't get the look. And so we didn't get the look against the Patriots, but we got a good look for it in this game.
Just didn't know if you changed names because of locations or you didn't want
Yeah,
to.
no, we kept it. We kept it. We said let's keep the name. They all know it. We don't need to change it.
Nate?
Going with the walkthrough on Wednesday, is that just sort of a reaction to overtime road game or what?
No, I think I mentioned this last week, getting late in the season, making sure these guys are fresh. So like I said, you guys will probably see a lot of walkthroughs on Wednesdays going forward with these last couple games. Just make sure these guys are ready to go for Sunday.
Steven?
Hey Shane, in talking to Alec Pierce, he has a really mature outlook, I think, on things. I mean, it hasn't been a very productive year for him, but I think we all agree there's a lot that's gone into that. Is that unique for a young player to really? I don't know if you've had the same observation, but I mean, is that unique for a young player to understand it at that level? Like, he understands his role, he understands the bigger picture, and like hasn't been preoccupied with what his numbers are, I guess.
Yeah, no, here's what I'll say about Alec. I mean, incredible competitor, great worker, very selfless, and just goes out and does his job. You know what I mean? And obviously he hasn't got a ton of touches this year, but at some point they're going to come around to you. And obviously, yesterday was his day for that. We got the looks for it and we hit some big ones. But he works, asks great questions. He's been doing a great job. Reggie's been doing a great job with that whole group. But obviously, yesterday, he had a big day and he just keeps working and working and working. And we go from there. But, credit to him and his work ethic that he puts in every week.
What's the next step for him, I guess? I mean, not in terms of numbers, but just what do you want from him and just what can he do to grow next?
Yeah, I think just the development of going through the process, the weekly routine, obviously in year 2, being a young player, he's continuing to grow, getting in and out of his breaks better have been really good to see. And part of it is too, just understanding the system like he's been doing and everyone's been doing a great job. And I think when you're in a system for a while, and I think not just receivers, but quarterbacks and offensive line and running backs, when you guys are, when they're hearing the same terminology, year in and year out, you look back, at the days when Reggie and Marvin and Peyton and all those guys were here in that system. I mean, it was like clockwork, those guys playing together for that long and making the plays they made. I think there's something to that. And obviously that's, what we're trying to build here right now.
2 more. Bob?
Yeah, Shane, did Brian Mason get a game ball? And to the degree you're willing to share details, how were you able to stuff both those punts? I mean, they weren't blocked, they were stuffed.
Yeah, I won't say who's getting game balls because we announced that in the team meeting. But I can't really go into the detail. I'm not going to talk about scheme. But no, it was a great job. A great job by him dialing those things up, and great job by the players executing it.
Did you know during the week that you had a chance to get a block? And
Yeah, I know we had an adjustment for one of them for sure, and then the other one they had, it was very well done. I mean, both of them were very well done.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Last one, Kevin?
Shane, any word on severity for Braden Smith's knee injury?
I don't have an update for you on that right now, Kev.
That Shane Steichen, can you tell that he's happy? Can you tell that he likes what's going on with this team? I think that you can. The smiles. You get smiles from Steichen when the Colts win. When they don't win, there's no smiling, and that's not different from coach to coach. That's very, very similar from coach to coach, but interesting to learn about that he didn't want to talk about the punt blocks, but that the gadget play was called Germany. It worked. They didn't wind up running it in Germany. They wound up running it in Tennessee, still called Germany. Makes sense. Don't complicate it by giving it new names. Don't try to be clever. Clever doesn't work. Clever confuses people. Just call it what you call it and run it the way you run it. And that's exactly what the Colts did. The Colts are in a really interesting situation right now at 7-5. They can get to the playoffs from here. With Gardner Minshew, without Jonathan Taylor, for a majority of the season, maybe he'll be back, without Grover Stewart for 6 weeks. Like this has been with Shaquille Leonard being gone now, and you know what? Not very good when he was here. This has been a strange year, and the Colts continue to find ways to win games that perhaps they shouldn't.